Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. We are continuing to talk about The Mandalorian. We are in Season 1, Episode 2, The Child. In front of me, I've got the script from the show. I may glance down from time to time just to rekindle thoughts and ideas as we go through a discussion about this episode. It begins with The Mandalorian. Now he's got the child that he has chosen to spare its life, and he's still kind of deciding how this is going to play out. And he's attacked. After he's attacked, the child reaches out its hand. Of course, we're already sort of intuitively understanding the child is going to try to heal the Mandalorian, who has no idea what this child is trying to do, and he just returns it back to the crib. He doesn't yet understand the power of the Force, the nature of the Force. These things, for some reason, are unknown to him. And I find that fact interesting. We'll pick this back up later on, because later on in the episode, in Season 1, I believe, he's informed more about what the Jedi are. I find that interesting, that he doesn't know, or he's not been informed about this important piece of history. That's problematic for me, along with a couple of other things, but we'll hit those. Maybe you've got some answers to these questions, and I would love it if you would post those ideas in the comments below as we go through it. So his ship is, when we come on it, his ship has been completely stripped by Jawas, okay? They take his stuff, they run off, and this great chase scene ensues where the Mandalorian is now picking off the Jawas and disintegrating them, and it's great fun. It's great action sequence. Even though the Mandalorians have a reputation for being the most formidable warriors in the Star Wars mythology, listen, unity is formidable, even among thieves, right? These Jawas, even though they're small and weak, they are united, and even a Mandalorian could not get into that sandcrawler. So point taken there in that sequence. The Mandalorian returns. He has a conversation with Kuiil about what is going to happen next. How is he going to process through this? And Kuiil is going to help Din negotiate for all the parts back. Okay, it doesn't really start out that well. The negotiation isn't going well. Of course, the Mandalorian is very upset. The Jawas are also upset. Several of them have been killed by him. Kuiil advises the Mandalorian to lower his rifle, right? Drop the rifle. And the Mandalorian's response to Kuiil's, he's trying to cool everybody's heads down so that Din can get all the parts back and rebuild the ship. Din's response to Kuiil's advice to drop his rifle is, "I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion." Okay? And I think, all of us got a chuckle out of that, or all of us who love the Second Amendment got a chuckle out of that. Listen, I just got a note here, I guess, on this topic, now that we've brought out that line, weapons are part of my religion. Have you noticed that Star Wars is a very pro-Second Amendment story? I mean, the entire thing, in all of it. The entire Star Wars galaxy is an open carry, constitutional galaxy where everybody can carry pretty much whatever they want. There doesn't seem to be a lot of restriction on that, except I guess maybe at one time Alderaan tried to ban weapons, and then they got blown up. So my question here about this line, "I'm a Mandalorian, weapons are part of my religion." I guess my immediate question here on this line, because he's identifying himself by his religious beliefs, is, okay, so what else makes you a Mandalorian? What other activities here? Looking up on Wikipedia, the Mandalorian religion, does have a belief in God or gods and an afterlife. And okay, so we're looking at someone who is claiming to be intensely religious or devout. We haven't yet seen him pray. We haven't yet seen him do some sort of overtly religious type of activity other than engage in combat, which is a part of Mandalorian religious observance, is their warrior ethos and belief that combat is a part of that, but we're only getting little snippets, and this main character is supposed to be billed as a devout religious Mandalorian. I think this is one of the issues, and I'll come back to this later, that we see in the writing most recently after the acquisition of Star Wars by Disney. One of the things that I have observed in the conversation about religion within Star Wars. See, when George Lucas wrote Star Wars, he was talking about God and faith and religion in a positive way, that it could be a force for good to overcome evil, right? But once Disney took it over, I just got to say, it seems like a lot of the time the conversation is more about religion is the problem that we need to get rid of, instead of it's the answer. There might be some issues or some things that need to be changed, some reformations that need to happen, but not that you just throw out the entire thing, because it's, again, being presented as the problem, not a part of the solution to the issues in the galaxy. So I have my eyes on this issue in the writing, because the longer I'm watching Star Wars material coming out of Disney, the more I'm getting this kind of feel that the writers themselves either don't understand religion because they're not religious, and so they're only able to discuss it in the context of the characters as a problem that they really can't dig into, or that they do understand religion, but from a position of, yeah, but we walked away from it, we've given up on it, and maybe it's these issues that are sort of coming out in the writing, is with the writers themselves. I don't know, tell me what you think, but this is the kind of feel that I'm getting as we're going through this sort of turnover of Star Wars into the hands of Disney writers. I guess I don't mean to read all of that into one line. It spreads out in other conversations, but I figured I would hit it here when he's talking about religion explicitly. He goes on to negotiate, and they want, in exchange, they want an egg. Okay, my kids loved this part, and they were jumping around yelling, "Suga, Suga!" It was really cute. One of the things that we see, at least for the first time in either television or film, is a Mandalorian with a flashlight, tactical flashlight affixed to his helmet. Thought that was a pretty cool touch there. Of course, we see how the child intervenes using the Force to help Din win the fight against this beast. Is film quality. You guys are doing an outstanding job in telling these stories and making them look and feel like Star Wars. Okay, so here's one of those little detail type questions, and yes, I am nitpicking about the end of this fight sequence with the Mudhorn beast. Okay, the child has intervened, he's levitated the beast and suspended it so that Din can survive and win in this fight. Din reaches in and grabs like a boot knife, maybe a 7-inch blade on this thing, and he stabs the beast and it just drops dead instantly. Okay, but animals don't die from a stab wound instantly, especially an animal like the size of a garage. So I wish they had sort of, let the thing, die in a more realistic way, but whatever. It's a very minor thing. And he comes back, and they basically rebuild the ship. They're establishing a friendship here. They're establishing trust between Din and Kuiil. This is going to carry forward in future episodes. Kuiil is a great character, voiced by Nick Nolte, And at the conclusion of episode 2, they've rebuilt the ship, and Kuil refuses payment for his help. And at the final shot is when the Mandalorian is leaving the planet, he looks back, and there's this poignant closing shot of episode 2 of the Mandalorian looking at the child. And without any text, we know he's thinking, what am I going to do? What path am I going to take? What am I going to decide about this child? Kuil has already identified that the Mandalorian has made an ethical choice, a moral choice, not to kill this child. But the decision remains ahead. What is he going to do? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.